Hi, the Tyke from Groovy Entertainment. Today we're getting a record to play for you. Today record The Prince and the Golden Apple from 1977. So let's get started.
The Prince and the Golden Apple. There once was a king who had a beautiful garden. In this garden stood an old apple tree, and on that tree there grew each and every year a golden apple. But each time the king went to pick it, it was gone. No one knew who had stolen it or what had become of it, but it was certainly gone. Now this king had 3 sons. One day he summoned all 3 to his private hall so that he might tell them how he meant to divide up his kingdom and solve a mystery, both at the same time. Sons, whichever one of you recovers my golden apple or catches the thief, this one shall inherit the kingdom after me, no matter whether he be the eldest, the youngest, or the middle one. I have spoken. It is decreed,
Yes, your majesty.
said the eldest prince. Yes, father, said the middle prince.
Well, if you say so, Dad.
Said the youngest prince, for he loved his father and wasn't very ambitious at all. The eldest brother was the first to try. He went into the garden and sat under the tree to wait for the thief. As darkness settled around him and the moon was not yet above, a golden bird came flying. And as it came, it glimmered from afar. Well, when the eldest son saw the bird and how strangely it shone, he became so fearful that he couldn't stay, but ran home as fast as his legs would take him. When he returned to the garden in the morning, the apple had disappeared. But now the king's son was feeling brave once more. So he packed some clothes and his best cape and his favorite shoes, which were blue, and away he went to look for the golden bird. But before he left, the king, who was really an old softy, gave him a lot of spending money and a fatherly word or two. Don't spend it all in the same place, kid, you know.
No, and I shan't take any wooden nickels either.
Such a serious boy I've got. The king's son traveled for many miles until he became hungry. So he sat down by the roadside, opened his knapsack, and started to eat. Just then, a fox came out of a nearby forest and sat down and stared at him. The eldest looked away, forcing the fox to speak. Spare a bit for an old fox, sir. I would only be needing a little, what with winter almost over now, and the frost melting on the hill, and wee green things poking up their heads. So just a crumb or two of perhaps that pork chop in your hand.
Push off. Bushy tail, or I'll kick you to kingdom come. I need all my food for myself. Who knows how far or how long I shall be on the road. A scram.
Well, that was that. So long, sucker. And with that, the fox went back into the woods again. When the prince had eaten and rested, he once more started on his way. After a time, he came to a city, and in that city was an inn where there was always a lot of fun and pleasure, and never any sorrow. The prince liked the looks of the place immediately.
Looks like a swell joint. Why, look at all those happy people. And the music's fantastic. I wonder who they have on lute tonight.
So the eldest prince entered the inn. There he remained. There was so much dancing and drinking and many different kinds of merriment that he completely forgot about the golden bird, and the apple, and his father, and the journey, and the entire kingdom, too. There he was, and there he stayed. The next year, the middle son decided to catch the apple thief. So he sat under the tree when the apple was almost ripe. And then, as it was just dark, the golden bird came, glimmering and fast, and the boy became so frightened that he ran home as fast as he could. The next morning, the apple was gone. But now this son was feeling brave, so he dressed himself for travel, and the king equipped him well, too, giving him plenty of money and advice. But the same thing happened to him as to his elder brother. When he sat down by the roadside to eat, a fox came out of the forest and begged some food.
I could use a bite or two, or three. Why, 'tis nature's season to be generous, and man's too. Please, sir, just a crumb or two, or that lamb chop in your hand.
Get lost, pointy nose, while you still got something to lose. I need my food, for who knows how long I shall have to travel.
Well, that's that. Goodbye to you.
When the king's son had rested, he got up and traveled farther until he came to the same city and the same inn that his brother had. And this son thought it was a good place to stay too. And he had such a good time, what with the dancing and the drinking and the feasting and the other fun, that the second brother also forgot about the bird and the apple and his father and the journey and the entire kingdom too. There he was, and there he stayed. A year passed, and it was time for the golden apple to become ripe again. The youngest prince went out into the garden to watch for the apple thief, but he climbed up into the tree and waited there. And sure enough, the bird appeared and came for the golden apple. The youngest son tried to grab the bird, but it was so quick he missed, and all he got was one of its golden tail feathers. So he went into the bedroom where the king was sleeping, and the tail feather lit up the whole room. The king was much amazed. So the youngest son decided he wanted to go after the bird, but the king had already lost two sons and didn't want to let him go, for he feared that he too would be lost. But the youngest son pleaded so hard that the king allowed him to go, giving him money and twice as much advice as he'd given the other two.
Oh, thanks for all the advice, Dad. I remember what you said, especially about the wooden nickels. Are wooden dimes all right?
Son, maybe you should stay home. But the next day, the youngest son was on the road in search of the golden bird. After he had traveled for a while, he sat down at the roadside to eat. The fox came out of the forest and sat down beside him.
Cool, you look hungry, Fox. Suppose you'd like a crumb or two, eh?
Wouldn't like
Eh?
that.
Oh, yeah, what? Oh, go on, have some of this bread.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Oh, you eat fast. Here, how about these cooked potatoes then?
Oh, thank you again.
Good, eh? Oh, well, you finished that?
Yes,
Oh, want some meat?
yes, I'd love
Oh,
it, thank
okay,
you.
I'll share my meat with you as well.
How good.
Okay?
Thank you, young prince.
Oh, yes, welcome.
Now, where would you be going?
So the prince told him the whole story. Then the fox told him that if he continued his journey, he would come to a city, and in that city would be an inn full of merrymaking where his brothers were. But if the prince joined his brothers, he would have an impossible time of getting away. Well, the prince promised not to go into the inn when he got there, and then he and the fox went their separate ways.
See ya. Bye.
So long. Thanks for dinner.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime.
But when the prince came to the inn, he felt he had to go in. There he met up with his brothers, and they started having so much fun that he forgot about the fox, the journey, and everything else. But then the inn door opened a crack, and there was the fox peeking in at him.
Come on, Prince. You promised. Remember, the bird, your journey, your old man's great advice. Come on, let's hit the road.
So the king's son came to his senses and left the inn with the fox. When they had walked for a while, they saw a huge mountain in the distance, and the fox said,
300 miles beyond that mountain is a gilded linden tree with leaves of gold, and in that tree sits the golden bird whose feather you snatched.
So they traveled there together. When the king's son was about to go over and catch the bird, the fox gave him some pretty feathers, which he was to wave at the bird and lure it down so it would come flying and perch on his hand. But the fox warned him not to touch the linden tree, for a big troll owned it, and if he touched even the smallest twig, the troll would come and try to kill him on the spot.
Oh, that troll sounds like a real nice guy.
Yeah, And he's pretty too. He's got a nose that looks like your thumb. And he files his teeth to sharp points every day to keep your mitts off that tree.
Well, what if I wear gloves?
Well,
2 pairs of gloves, maybe?
no, don't touch.
The king's son really didn't want to touch that tree, but once the golden bird came and it was perched on his hand, he felt that he just had to have one leaf from it because the leaves were so bright and fine. He just couldn't seem to help himself. So he took a tiny leaf and boom, 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 out stomped the troll. He was so angry sparks were coming from his eyes. Here now, who's been stealing from my linden tree? And who's stealing my golden bird? What is this, crime time or something?
A thief thinks every man steals.
Who told you that?
My dad. And he also warned me about wooden nickels.
Well, he should have warned you about trolls, 'cause no one's gonna kill you. But the king's son pleaded for his life, and the troll said he'd let him go if he could bring him back the horse his neighbor had stolen from him. The troll told him that this thieving neighbor lived 300 miles past a blue mountain that was to the north of them. The prince wrote down the directions and asked another question.
What was zip code?
It's on there somewhere.
Oh, yeah, I see, yeah. What's this neighbour like, then? The one who stole your horse?
Oh, well, he's a troll like me.
Oh, ugly, eh?
What?
Oh, ugly. You're ugly.
Well, thank you very much. Only he makes me look pretty. He's got a nose that looks like your foot. By now. Well, when the fox heard what had happened, he was plenty angry because the young prince hadn't followed his advice. But he traveled with the prince all the way past the Blue Mountain to the stable of the troll who stole the horse. When the prince was going to take the horse, the fox gave him some advice.
Don't touch any of his expensive gold and silver bridles which will be hanging on the wall, or that troll will come out and get you. Just take the horse and leave. Got it this time?
Right.
But when the prince got in the stable and saw the beautiful bridles, he thought the fox was being ridiculous, and he touched one. And sure enough, the troll came out and was going to kill him. But once again, the prince pleaded for his life, and the troll made a deal with him.
I'll let you go if you promise to bring back the lovely maiden my nearest neighbour has stolen from me.
Who's that, then? Let me guess. Your neighbour is a troll who is uglier and scarier than you. I know, I've heard it before. He lives
Right.
300 miles beyond the next blue mountain, round
Yeah.
the left around the corner,
Right.
round
You got it now.
around the
Now,
church, the old church, down the lane, round by the
hey,
side. I know
sod
the
it,
school,
will
I
you?
know. Oh.
Get off with you. Bye now.
Well, the fox was even angrier with the young prince when he heard where they were going and why.
A fine mess you've gotten us into, Prince.
But he accompanied the prince anyhow. When they got to the troll's house, however, the fox went in and rescued the maiden, and then they traveled back the same way they had come. And when they came to the troll with the horse, the fox went in and took the horse and the shiniest bridle. And when they came to the troll who had the golden bird in the linden tree, the fox took the girl and the tree as well. He was so fast and light that none of the trolls saw him. When they had traveled a bit farther, they came to the end of the city and the brothers. Here the fox and the prince parted, the fox warning him not to go near his brothers. But of course he did, and the brothers came out of the inn and saw the lovely maiden and the horse and the linden tree, and they took all these away from him, tied him with a rope, put him in a barrel, and threw the barrel out onto the sea. Then the brothers took everything, and the maiden, and started back for their father's court. But the maiden wouldn't say a word, and became pale and sad. The horse wouldn't eat, and became very thin. And the golden bird sat silent and wouldn't shine, and the linden tree started to wither away. In the meantime, the fox came back to find the prince, because he started to worry about him, you see. But nobody at the inn remembered him or his brothers. So the fox wandered around unhappily, wondering what had become of the prince. At last he came down to the shore, and saw a barrel floating on the water and someone shouting in it.
Oh! Oh dear! Let me out!
The fox recognized the prince's voice, and so he swam out to the barrel and gnawed through it until the prince could get free. Then they went to the king's court together, and when they arrived, the maiden became beautiful, the horse started to eat, the bird shone and sang, and the linden tree bloomed more than it ever had before. And the maiden said, "They are the ones who saved me." So the two brothers were sent away, and the linden tree was planted in the garden, and the youngest son married the princess, for a princess was what the maiden was. And just before they were to be married, the fox begged one favor of the prince.
Chop off me head, will you, Prince?
Well, the prince didn't want to, but the fox insisted it would be a good thing, and finally the fox convinced him. And as soon as the prince raised his axe, the fox turned into a handsome prince, and turned out to be the brother of the princess who had been rescued from the throne. So the wedding was a grand and fine affair, and they had so much fun there that people still talk about it.
Oh!
So that was The Prince and the Golden Apple from 1977. So if you like, subscribe, share, and comment, have a good video. Another video coming out real soon.